So if you've watched my previous vlog, you will know that my parents were just recently here last February to March, and they've stayed here for a month, as I've mentioned. But the reason why I'm telling you this is because today I'm going to tell you how I applied for their visa just by myself online and not going through an agency.
What?
I believe that basically in Philippines, or maybe in Singapore as well, because I believe that when you're in Philippines, you have to go through an agency when you want to apply for a visa to go to Australia. But in Singapore, when we went here in Australia, we also applied through the website of Australia Immigration and directly process it by ourselves. If you are a kind of person who is very meticulous, just like my friend Umi, then I can recommend you can do this by yourself with the easy steps that I'm going to show you here on the screen. There are actually a lot of airlines that comes here straight from Philippines or wherever you're coming from. So we have Philippine Airlines, we have Qantas, and if you're budgeted, then you can also use Cebu Pacific. There are a lot of piece of fare that they actually release during holidays, such as Labor Day, Independence Day. You just have to watch and wait through their website at 12 midnight. But anyway, before I start giving you all the details of how to apply for a visa, for the first time viewers here in my channel, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Diane, and you're watching Misunderstood Cheeky. So let's start with this list on how you can apply for a visa going here to Australia. So there's this website that you have to go through and register, make login details. I'm going to be showing the website here at the bottom of the screen so that you can just click it as well in the comment section below. So you have to register for their website, and the website is called Home Affairs, and there is actually a form that you have to fill out with your details and with your credentials. So number one, you have to fill out this online form that will take you around 30 to 45 minutes based on how you know yourself.
What?
Or based on the papers or requirements that you already have with you. Second is you have to have a valid passport. Of course, you have to know if you actually need a visa coming to Australia, and if your passport requires a visa going to Australia, then you have to have your passport scanned with the exit and entry stamps, as well as the information, which is actually the front page of your passport. If you are not sure what is it, then I'm going to be showing it here at the screen for you. Number three, you have to have proof of funds. Okay, so if you want to go to Australia, of course you need to have proof of funds. Basically, cost of living here in Australia is more expensive if you'll compare it to Asian countries. So if you're coming from Asia, then I suggest that you save a lot for your budget money. Thus, the immigration requires you to have proof of funds. Proof of funds are basically bank certificate. If you have insurance policy, then you can also upload that. If you have land titles, then you can upload that in the website as well. Number four, you have to have a certificate of employment. So basically, certificate of employment, or what we call a COE, is a certification that you get from the company that you're working with. It's just a proof that you have an income, or you are working with a company that provides you the means to travel or to go to Australia. If, for example, you're already a resident here and you want to apply for your parents, you can also send an invitation letter to your parents or to your siblings stating that you're sponsoring them, like for example, sponsoring them with their accommodation or with a tour on this day to this day. So basically, you can only have that if you have a relative staying in Australia that can send you that invitation. Number five, you have to have a 1.5 by 1.5 ID photo to be uploaded in that website as well. If you're in a certain age, they will require you to go through medical, but if you are young and beautiful,
What?
then you don't need to have to do it. If you're from a country that has national ID, just like Singapore or Macau or Korea, then you're obliged to upload your national ID. But if you're from Philippines and we don't have that, or actually we do have that already, I think.
What?
But if you don't have that yet, you can upload any ID, maybe driver's license or any ID that is actually being recognized internationally. So aside from all of these requirements that I've just mentioned to you, you also have to pay 145 Australian dollars for the application fee. So once you submitted everything, all of the requirements that I've just mentioned to you, then you have to pay for it, and then you have to wait for their email if you need to appear in the Australian embassy in your country. Sometimes they will not ask you to come, but sometimes they will. Actually, depends on situation. I'm not really sure how they decide on that, but for my parents and for my brother, they didn't need to go to the Australian Embassy in Manila. So after receiving the visa, it's actually a paper visa. After receiving that paper visa, then all of the conditions and restrictions are stated there, and there wasn't anything written in the email that they're required to go to the Australian Embassy. So after sending everything, grant will maybe take around 13 days. But for my brother, when I applied for his visa, it took 38 days because I think maybe it was during Christmas season when I applied for his visa. Maybe that's the reason why it took longer. It's actually good news that you can do it by yourself. So by doing this, you can actually save your agency fee, which you can actually top it up for your pocket money when coming here in Australia. I also suggest that you have enough funds or pocket money when you come here in Australia because, yeah, as I've mentioned, food here is quite pricey. Like maybe if you'll go to a restaurant and have lunch or dine out, it'll cost you around $20, but they actually serve good food and their servings are actually massive. So if you have friends going with you, then I suggest that you try buying one dish first and then share it. And if you feel like it's not enough for the both of you, then you can just order some sides. So when they grant you a visa, sometimes they actually give you 6 months to a year or maybe 2 years or maybe 5 years. It actually depends. Maybe it depends on the proof of funds that you have sent to them. So basically, if you have a lot of funds, I think they will give you a lot of years, multiple visits. I'm not sure, but okay, I have this friend who applied for a visa for his mom. And first year, the mom was granted a year, and then right after that, they've applied again, and I think they get more years right after. So I think, or maybe, just based on our observation, on the second time that you try to apply for a visa, then they give you more years. Based on our experience, we always get multiple visits, even if it's just for 6 months. So as I've mentioned earlier, visa will be emailed to you and you will receive it as a paper form. You just have to print it out. For us on our side, when we first visited Australia, we've printed it out just so if the immigration officer asks for it, then we can show it to them. But if you don't have a printer at home, I suggest that you go out and have it printed it out anyway. What? Because I think it's just wise to have it with you, but they actually have it in their system. So when you're about to enter their immigration, they won't ask for it, but just so that you have a hard copy of it, I suggest that you print it out. Anyway, before I end this video, let me give a shout out to my cousin who is actually a seaman and who's been going around the world, but not yet here in Australia. So I suggest that you come here in Australia. Shout out to my cousin Carlo. Please visit here in Australia so that we can have a catch up and have some best coffee. Alright, I'm going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions or any comments regarding this topic, I suggest that you comment down below. If you want to share this to your friends who are not aware that they can actually do this by themselves, then please do share this video. I know that there are a lot of people who are already aware on doing this, but if you're someone who is not a tourism graduate or someone who is not that meticulous or not that someone who always wants to read, please do share this video as well. Anyway guys, thank you for watching my YouTube channel, and again, please do stay safe. If you're in a country where you still need to be quarantined, stay home, stay safe. Thank you guys for watching Misunderstood Cheeky. You have a great weekend. Cheers, bye! Number 5, you have to have a 1.5. You have to have a 1.5 by 1.5. Look. I don't know what you're gonna do here in the span of 6 months, visiting so many times, or, but, kunin mo na?
Nagumambol ka na.
Nagumambol na ako.